Hey everybody, it's John with the Caricature Entertainment. I got my guy Larry. He's on the tech end, the questions.
Hey
As
guys.
always, we're very grateful for all of you who've been watching our series on critiques and helping artists with just a little helpful hints in our series of do it right, do it again, do it this way. We're really grateful. Larry's on hand. He's going to actually volunteer today's question and the art to work with. As he has asked about the Magnificent Seven. You know the Magnificent Seven. That's drawing to be cute, drawing to be fun, funny, drawing with style, drawing for composition, drawing for perspective, drawing with line work, or drawing with color. Larry's chosen composition in that he's interested in learning how to draw our larger set people. Larry, what can we call those people?
Fluffy people.
We're going to call them Fluffy. All right. So that's our goals today. We're going to draw the Fluffies. We're going to make them look as beautiful as intended. And we're going to use Larry's work. So let's get right into it. So this is actually a live sample from our retail location here in San Angelo, Texas. This beautiful young lady and her child came in, and Larry did a magnificent job in handling this drawing, a perfect example of live retail caricature. If you take a little closer, you will see that we've got the child right up in the front. We've got the mother right to the back. Great choices here that I'll discuss a little further about in composition. Turning her to a 3/4 pose. You can see that when you do a 3/4 pose, Larry was able to focus not only on some of the ornate features that she has, the barrettes, the earrings, but also to really positively showcase her curves. Now, when we look at the picture in whole, you can see that there's opportunities to use some of the space that both the mother and the child create. I see here on the right side a lot of empty space, where here on the left side, it seems there's a crashing into the wall. So composition is going to help with that today. We're going to get right into it. So let's use a little technique in composition that's called overlapping shapes. Now, overlapping shapes is a technique made popular from the book The Illusion of Life. In my animation experience, Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson wrote this book, created this as sort of a Bible to animation and animators, but we can use it here for ourselves in drawing caricatures. So composition wise, overlapping shapes is really simple. All it means is that if I have a square shape and I have a circle shape and I have a triangle, that if I were to move these three shapes around to give the illusion that different parts of these objects are moving at different times, I might have to draw that the triangle arrived first, the circle may have came second, and then the square came last. And that's pretty much the concept behind overlapping shapes, is that we are dragging movement and creating that illusion. It does a couple things. Number one, it's going to break up these rigid lines because you're seeing as in previous videos, straights against curves. You're going to see how the weight is affected, that the triangle being in the front, the circle being in the middle, and the square being the back, you could say that one is casting a shadow into the other. That affects all the things in space, giving it that illusion of a three-dimensional shape in time and in space. Now, why would I want to do this? Number one, I am prioritizing this soft edge. So even if I put shapes together, as we've talked about in previous videos, those curved lines are really going to stand out, especially in place of the curve or the straight lines. Each one of these shapes now has a sense of volume because they are in space, that these dynamic lines play into each other so that even though we don't see the continuation of the circle or the continuation of the square, because we understand the composition and these three-dimensional shapes, we know that without seeing it, that is a square and that is a circle, both behind the triangle. And therefore, we understand that they are interacting with their environment. Front, rear, in between, closer, farther, eye level, falling back into the horizon. So overlapping shapes, when I draw a face, can be much the same. So if I draw my happy face, if I put hair or bangs in this case, I know that because this straight line cuts in front of these curved lines that are in the face, therefore that's in the front. If I put circles at the edge, I know that therefore this part of the face must be in front of the ears. Or if I go even further, I drew a nose and it drifts in front of the mouth, I know that this must be in front of this mouth. Just some real fun examples. Now, how do we take that into the human face? Well, let's go back to our example. So here we have our mom and child. They're both facing to the front. I see that mom's arm is in holding the child, so the mom's arm is in front of the child, but I also see that the child's arm is in front of mom's arm. So right there, I have some space. Kid's arm, mom's arm, kid, mom. 4 layers in space. Now, when I look at this, what I want to do to make sure that I'm adjusting for our larger set person, as we are saying, Fluffy, I want to use a few techniques. Larry's even used some of them. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a slight turn. Every time I have a chance to draw someone who's larger set, I want to be able to put them at a 3/4 view, just like what Larry's done here. I'm going to soften the curved jawline. I'm going to have the neck flow directly into the body. And then I'm going to have those overlapping shapes. So let's see if we can pull that together First, by planning out our composition, I'm going to use the hand in front of the hand, in front of the kid who's in front of the mom. We'll put in a few surprises as well. I'm planning this out in my head. Number one, as we've said in our previous videos, I'm going to have my child at about the below the halfway line of the picture. Okay. So using my rule of thirds, there's one face, and I'll put mom above. Now, because I know mom is larger set, I'm going to move her over, which makes it seem like she's in the center. To make overlapping shapes, I'm going to just slightly lift the kid a little higher, which is going to allow me to play up the curves of the woman's body. I'm also going to have her arm wrapping around. And then just to really emphasize that, I'm going to have the kid's hand in front. 1, 2, 3, 4 overlapping shapes. When I'm drawing kids, we've already gone over that in a previous video. So I'm going to put that kid facing almost front. What I'm going to do with our mom is I'm going to turn her 3/4. So that's going to make this jaw pop out just a little bit, give it more curves. I'm going to bring from the head right into the neck. And then I'm also being mindful of a very soft, curved jawline, which leads into a very soft chin. I might as well go ahead and think and consider, where can I put some more overlapping shapes in the woman? She's got a little bit of flair. Because I have all of this space, I know I'm going to put her big hair bun. Even though it seemed a little more on the top, I'm going to fill in that space here. Because I know she's got these really big earrings, I may not emphasize it as much here because it's behind the child's head, but that curved line is going to help me put a placement of emphasis away from the curve of her chin here, but I will bring that back by putting the earring here, which will accent the curve of the chin here. I've got kid's head. There he is. I got mom's head at a 3/4. You can almost see it. Let's go back. If I see mom here, I've got the bun. I've got good cheeks. I've got a lot of emphasis on multiple layers in my picture. So now it's just time to draw. Let's go for it. As I said before, I'm going to start with the child's head, normally below the halfway line. We talked about some things you could do to make kids cute in a previous video. Nice. Now, as I'm planning this out, I already know I said I was going to put the child's hand somewhere around here. Now, I know somewhere out there, there's somebody who's saying, I would love to learn how to draw better hands. Maybe we can make that another video. So there's mom's arm coming through. So I've got layer one overlapping this arm shape two. Let's emphasize mom here. There we go. Now, I'm going to step away from the kid for just a moment. Let's get right into mom. So we talked a lot about overlapping shapes here. So I'm going to start with the good shape, her cheek. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it off with her chin. Now, one of the tricks I use is if I have someone who's larger set, there's no reason to show every layer. So by using the child's head or hair or any other accessory, it affects the overall look. So I can just understand, just like a circle is going behind a shape, I know that this chin is going to then eventually pop out over here in her jawline. I'm going to put this ear, and then the earring was quite large, if I remember correctly. I emphasize there. And because this earring is overlapping the ear, but it's behind the chin on this side, I'm sorry, behind the jaw. On this side, I'll do the same, creating, again, more depth in my composition. Now, normally when I draw women of size, I like to give them those curves. In this case, I don't really know the extent of the curves, so I'm just going to be very gentle and just have it come out to the edge. Go ahead and finish out our arm here. Now, as we talked about in previous sessions, we're going to play off of the curves and the straights. So over here, I'm going to have a curve, which will be de-emphasized by this choice of a straight line here. And more curves, emphasizing the play against the straight lines here. And let's just finish that curve. And then there we go. Now, when I look at the reference, there is a little bit of volume here as she used her hair to emphasize there. All right. So now I've got one layer overlapping here, which is overlapping here. How cool is that? I use the ear. It's now overlapping here. So now we've got some real fun play compositionally. This child is in front of mom. I'm using the child's head to give the illusion that there's a lot of softness going on behind. I'm using now a layer here that's in front of the earrings here. But on this side, because it's 3/4, I've pushed the earring out. Oops, I think that's how the earring would go. So I have all these layers of depth that are going on in my composition, but all of it is just being set to de-emphasize the size of the woman, but really emphasize the story that's being told here in this composition. So I can finish this out. I gotta check and see if she has nose rings. So there's her nose. She had some really intense slashes. So why not overlap those two, putting them in front of the hair? I'll do the same on the other side. Now, what I love about the current state of cosmetics, current state of people and how they understand the gifts that their face have been given is they give all the directions to me. I just got to follow them. So she's definitely accepts her cheeks. So why not play them up? Yesterday we talked about squash and stretch. So I'm going to squash her face, which is going to give her more volume to the bottom of the face. But I'm going to also accent that with a widening stretch of her smile. How about that? Overlapping shapes. Her smile is going behind his head. I'm always looking for ways to do that. A little fun with that. So I'm always looking for ways to soften up the appearance. So even if you look here at my eyes, my curves to that eye structure, uh, even if I did put some weight underneath, I can see that I've really softened her face just by having all this variety of curved lines from the cheek, jaw, chin, lips. Not a lot of hard, straight lines in her face. So to finish this out, let me go ahead and draw the boy. He's not the emphasis of this drawing, but he is important as he's an overlapping shape to mom. Yeah, let's give everyone some eyes at the very end. And there you have it. Overlapping shapes compositionally has helped me really put some depth to the characters here in this story. Some of those things I talked about early on, the slight three-quarter turn on people of size, soft jaw lines and chins, the neck flows directly into the body, really playing up the overlapping shapes, which de-emphasizes the size. I've broken up my rigidness. Really, the only straight line I have to her entire existence is probably these here to play up her hairstyle. And then by conveying weight, I have that overlapping shape that pushes things back. We know the size of the kid's head. We know the emphasis to mom's face being squashed and widened. That's it. I've prioritized those small compositional aspects, overlapping shapes. Let's take a closer look and see how we did. Here's our picture from yesterday. Still a great retail sketch done by Larry. With a little more time, I've taken some of the compositional aspects that were already laid here, hand over child, over mom, earrings, hair, lashes. I've de-emphasized the size and I've made it more about story. So here's your before and here's our after. Now I'll go into this and clean it up just a little bit more in the after, but that's it. That's drawing fluffy people with composition using overlapping shapes. Thanks for joining me today. Every Wednesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My name is John. Appreciate you joining us. Got Larry. Thank you for volunteering your artwork.
Yep, I got you.
Hey, everybody. Keep on drawing. Keep it simple, personal, and memorable. We'll see you again.